real world.
Welcome to my channel. This is Serge bringing you another action figure collector's review on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin's Yellow Ranger. As you can tell right there, we get the figure through the window. We get a good bit of accessories right there. We also get an extra head sculpt for Trini, the Yellow Ranger. Over here on this side of the box, you get a nice little image wrapped around the side of the box, looking mighty fine. You also have the Power Rangers logo up there at the top. Over here on this side of the box, you get the same image reflected. On the back of the box, you get an awesome product shot of the Yellow Ranger. Up here, nothing but a yellow tab. And down here, nothing but the barcode. Let's get to it and open this bad girl up. Okay, let's take a good look at these accessories. First of all, we'll take a look at the Trini head sculpt right here. It looks good. It looks accurate enough. You know, I enjoy it. I think it looks more like a close relative, like if her mom was young or if she had a sister, or you know, a very close relative. I mean, they nailed this one pretty decent enough. You know, it favors the actor or the actress a little bit more. Now she's got a little bit of extra black right here. I'm gonna use my imagination and say that's some extra hair that got into her face a little bit. And right here, she's got a little bit of a black smudge on that cheek, which doesn't bother me too bad because it's barely noticeable at all. And she did have some paint up underneath her chin, and I just used my fingernail and it kind of scraped right on off. I like the way her hair looks. I like that. They sculpted it very nice. I enjoy that, and I like how this one strand would drape over her left shoulder. Now her eye, this one right here, kind of looks more towards the right a little bit, so that's a little bit bothersome, but it gives me something to look forward to for the future whenever they do go to re-release this set of figures, because you know they're going to cash out as much as they can on the Mighty Morphin line because that's going to be their #1 seller. But it looks very good. I'm very pleased with that. I like the color choices that they use for the lipsticks, or the lipstick and the cheeks right there. I enjoy that. We'll go ahead and take a look at these little blasting effects. I'm going to slide this one up out of the way because they're the same thing. They're translucent yellow. Now this one came with the Psycho Blue, the same color and everything. Now we did have another effect piece just like this one, but it was a blue color. It came with the White Ranger. So, you know, they've used a lot of these same effect pieces before, but what you do is you go and you find that little slot right there and you slip that on the tip of that, and that's how you do it. Now I would have liked them seen like a little bit wider, and you could have just ported that on here and you'd had yourself a nice little effect piece coming through the gun. But it's a little bit disappointing that we can't get that, but I mean, maybe they'll work upon that in the future. But anyway, that was a good look at that. Right here, we'll take a look at one dagger because they're both the same, and it'll save us some time, and the paint apps came out the same. And you get to see the tiger coin right there. It looks very good. I mean, it's very small, so you can barely make it out, but it is there. You get the silver right through here, and I like the way it's sculpted. The blade is and everything. It looks very accurate, and I like the way the silver that they used. It doesn't look like there's any paint out of place where it needs to be. And right here, I like the handle right there. The taped up, it's like taped up. Right here, you get the silver around the handle at the bottom, and it's kind of hollow on the inside. I guess that's where it's like all the weapons combine and they blast together. Right here, we'll take a look at this blaster, and it looks good. You know, I like it. It's the same thing that we got with all the other Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so it doesn't bother me that bad. Now, where I talked about re-release, I bet you they'll re-release these figures with closed blasters just to make, you know, more money, because they'll know people will rush out and buy them just because they have closed blasters. Right here, we'll take a look at these two hands. They came onto the figure. Now they look like the male hands that we've been getting, and plus the ones that we got with Kimberly, and they look very good. You know, these are the ones that you'll hold the weapons in, so it doesn't bother me that bad. Right here, we'll go ahead and take a look at these. This is more like a stylized hand, but she can hold stuff in this hand. But I mean, I would have liked to seen a fist instead of this gesturing kind of hand. But I mean, It's okay if you want her to do like the, her poses. If they was going to do this, they should have gave us two of these. But I mean, it's not that bad. It's just a little nitpick. Right there, I like this little karate chopping hand or waving hand. It looks good. We've seen it. We've seen all these hands before. That was a good look at the accessories. And here's what Trini looks like with her head sculpt on, her civilian head sculpt. And she can't really look up at all, which is very disappointing, but that hair gets in the way. She can look down just the tiniest bit, and her head will spin around, and it would go in a 360, but this hair hits back here and right there, so you're not going to get the full 360 effect out of it. So that's probably as far of a range as you're going to get, and that's probably all you really need for side to side, because you can also use that diaphragm in there. She is out of the box and ready to fight some putties onto your screen. We have Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Yellow. This figure is pretty awesome, and you can get into some good poses. But I do have a few little nitpicks, and we'll get into that in just a second. Okay, let's take a good look at her articulation. First of all, her head can look up that far, which looks good. And she can look down that far, which is a great amount in my opinion. She's got that confused dog going on to that side. She also has it that much to that side, and her head has the Exorcist, which is the full 360. She can throw the perfect pitch right there. Her arms bend up, well, there we go, that high up, which pleases me a lot. She's got a butterfly joint in here, and that's very, very useful for when posing her, because her arm can stretch up that far and back that far, which is amazing. I like that range. Now, I would have liked to see double jointed elbows, but these arms are so skinny that I believe they wouldn't have had a chance. But they bend in that far, which isn't that bad for a female figure. She's got a swivel right down there at the elbow, which is them party elbows. Right here, her wrist has a swivel and a hinge. Now, whenever you're taking the hands off, switching them out, they are very hard to peg in and out, so that displeases me a lot. They made it so super hard, and getting this head sculpt off and on and off is very loose, so that's a little bit bothersome as well, because it's very loose. And the other one was super tight that you could barely even get it in there, so that bothered me a little bit. Right here, her diaphragm can go lean over that side, and it leans that far to that side. And her top ab crunch right here can only bend in that far, which isn't that good of range. But it bends back really far. But whenever you bend it back, you get this weird like creasing line look right there that bothers me a little bit. And with the added ab crunch in there, you can get her looking forward that far down to her toesies and back right there where she's getting hit in the face by Lord Zed right there. So that, that's good range back. Right here, she can kick forward that far, and she can kick back just a little bit. And right here, she's got a thigh cut. She's got double jointed knees that bend in like that and like that. And she also has no boot rotation, but she don't even have a swivel down here, so that's a little bit bothersome. You'll get all your movement up here at the thigh cut if you want to move that foot around. And her foot can move that far forward, which is a little bit disappointing because it don't go at all. And she can bend her foot that way. It's not the perfect ballerina, but it's doable. And right here, she's got an ankle pivot. Do splits that far out. Let's take a good look at that sculpt work and deco. Right here, her paint apps came out very clean on her visor. Right there, the black around there looks very good. The silver around the mouth looks good. The tiger teeth on her helmet looks very, very good. And the silver on the nose came out very clean. The black around the eyes did. I like the ears that they sculpted in there. To me, I think the helmet looks accurate enough. So that's not that bad of that's not a nitpick at all. I just think it looks really good. The diamonds came out very clean right there. pleases me a lot. Now this is two different tones of plastic like they did with the pink and the red and all them other Rangers that they've been doing, but you can barely notice it on this figure, so that's a plus right there. Now mine's got a little bit extra like red smudge right there at her belly, and that bothers me a whole lot right there. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know why that bled through like that. I don't know what happened there. It's like a reddish orange color, and that displeases me a lot. But I mean, use your imagination. You can say she got that in battle damage or something. So I mean, I guess it makes my figure more unique. But right there, let's take a look at that belt. You can see the tiger in there, just barely see the tiger. So, or the saber-toothed tiger, I should say. I like the white that we're seeing on the belt. The black and the silver paint apps looks very good, and there's red in there, but they got kind of a little sloppy with the red work. You can't really see it that good, and my camera won't really zoom in that far. But the back of the figure right here looks very good as well. It's very clean. You got that wrinkling right through here, looks good. You got the Trini butt right there, and got a little bit extra black smudge right there. And right here you got some that sculpt work, the detailing there. And it's the same body mold as Kimberly, it just don't have the skirt like Kimberly had. So, but it doesn't bother me because the Yellow Ranger was actually played by a guy in the Sentai. So, you know, I think this works. I mean, you can't, I mean, it's a female figure as you can tell, but, you know, I think it works because that guy that played all the Power Ranger scenes wasn't really that big of a guy. So, I mean, it's passable. But that was a good look at Trini. And here's how the Yellow Ranger scales with a couple fellow Power Rangers from the Lightning Collection. We have the Walgreens exclusive Dragon Shield Black Power Ranger over there on her left. And on her right, we have my modified Red Ranger. She scales with the same figures, but without the Dragon Shields on. And, you know, this scaling does work a lot. It pleases me. How our Yellow Ranger scales with a couple of Tommy Olivers from the same collection. We have from the Green Ranger Fighting Spirit Putty 2-pack over there on the left. We have the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger. And over there on her right, we have the White Ranger. How Trini scales with another female figure from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. We have Kimberly, or also known as the Pink Ranger, over there on her left. And we also have a Putty from the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger 2-pack right over there on her right. And this scaling really works very good. And as you can tell, Trini and Kimberly share a lot of the same body parts. He scales up against a couple of villains from the same collection. We have Lord Zed over there on her left, and I did a little bit of customization to this one before I found out the release of the Lord Zed Rita 2-pack that's coming. That's the GameStop exclusive. And I painted this one's fingers by using a Sharpie marker, the silver kind. Don't use the black kind or any of the others, just the silver, and it matched up perfectly. It pleased me a lot. But if you just want to wait for that 2-pack and sell off your original one, then, you know, that's something that you can think about doing. But anyway, that's enough rambling on. And this is how she scales with Goldar on her right. Here's how Trini scales with the rest of the Power Rangers from the Lightning Collection line from the Mighty Morphin series. And this is all of them so far, except for Lord Draken. I left him in there on my display only because, you know, he's from the comic book series, and I'm considering the Sentai here, not really the comic book. I mean, you could throw him in if you wanted to, because technically he is a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, but I had to get the family together to take a photo. Trini scales with the Legacy line. We have the Yellow Ranger on her left, and we also have the Pink Ranger over there on her right. She scales with NECA's Foot Soldier from the Teenage Mutant Ninja series over there on her left, and on her right from McFarlane Toys we have Saitama. Scales with the Marvel Legend we have the Superior Octopus, and they go really good in scale because they come from the same company. Here's my final thoughts on this figure. I do have some small minor nitpicks about it, but all in all I do recommend picking this figure up. I mean, if you're a fan of the Lightning Collection, if you're a fan of Power Rangers in general, go out and pick her up. Or if you're a fan of action figures, go out and pick her up. I mean, you can get her into some very dynamic and great poses. Now, mine does have the issue on the belly with a little bit of that paint. I guess it's from the Morpher smearing off onto the belly. That bothers me a little bit. I mean, and then there's some minor things here and there that could be improved on. But that just gives us something to look forward to for the future. Now, let me know what you think of the figure. Let me know what you think of the review in the comments below. And as always, feel the urge to collect with Surge. If you want more action figure collectors reviews, then feel the urge to subscribe to Surge. And if you've liked what you've seen, then click that big thumbs up button. If you want to get notified of my latest videos whenever they drop, click that notification bell. If you want to see this channel grow, share with a friend. Speaking of friends, you can friend me over there on Facebook. Links to that will be in the description below. You can also follow me along on Twitter. Links to that will be in the description below.
Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times.
Yeah.
And here's how Trini scales with a couple of villains from the same collection. We have Goldar laying down on his back.